Let's focus on commodities now. Manisha is here with what she's got her mind on. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Prashant. Thank you for that. I'm looking at the crude oil prices because we're trading at a one-month highs onto this one. The sentiment has been positive as the U.S. keeps talking about on how many countries they are talking to and the trade agreements are processing. Well, we also have seen the U.S. and China temporary relief for 90 days also improve the sentiment into the markets. That has been keeping the crude oil prices on the higher side. Apart from that, it also has to do with the U.S. producers. Remember, the U.S. has been talking about producing a lot, but that really hasn't been the case. If you look at the rig count in U.S., that has continued to decline. And the latest names that are coming in U.S. is Diamond Energy and Coterra, reducing the drilling activity, supporting the crude oil prices, not just for Brent, but the U.S. WTI as well. And then it has been about fresh sanction threats against Iran. And this is coming in after the fourth round of talks that we heard in Oman. U.S. also is talking about fresh sanctions on 20 individuals and companies who have been dealing in sense of trade with Iran. So that there you have that adds to premium to prices. And then it is also about decline being reported in U.S. inventories. The crude inventories have gained, but when it comes to gasoline and distillate inventories, in the last week, we've seen a decline coming in for both of them, more in case of distillates, and that in turn has been supportive as well. The U.S. president is in Riyadh, and we've heard statements coming in from there. One thing bearish and one thing bullish. The bearish has been that the U.S. would look to lift sanctions on Syria. But the other thing is that U.S. has been able to secure a big amount to the tune of around $600 billion coming in from Saudi Arabia in sense of investments within U.S. when it comes to energy as a sector. So that is something that the markets see as bullish. And then it also has been about improved outlook in the global trade flows. Saudi Arabia also in the meanwhile seem to be pushing OPEC and allies to ensure that they do not produce more than or less than quota. So this deal is something that Street will watch out for. But there's a lot of uncertainty as well, because when it comes to crude oil, we do not know on what kind of sanctions or ease of business will Russia and Venezuela see coming in from U.S. And that will keep the markets in good favor as well. But when it comes to prices, well, the last couple of years were negative and 2025 seems to be going that way as well. So even as we've seen the last couple of weeks see gains in case of crude oil prices, there you have it. 2025 is still down by 11% in case of crude oil prices. This comes in after 3% of decline last year and 10% of cut in 2023 as well. So it doesn't look very bullish coming in for crude oil prices. But if we are still in the first half of this year, markets will want to wait out for China demand and, of course, the trade numbers coming in.
All right, Manisha, thank you very much for that. 9% in the last 4 sessions on oil. Well,